Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad. Now here's your host, Annie Durbon.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm Annie Durbon alongside my spunky co-hosts, Courtney Boggs and Blakely Durham, and our excited live studio audience. Guys, tell the people who's in there.
Yes, we have the beautiful women of Chi Omega in there joining us tonight, along with the National Association of Hispanic Journalists.
We also have the National Association of Black Journalists and a visiting group of journalists from Urdu.
And later on, we will be talking with football receivers Jeffrey Mead and Eric DeLay later on.
And in Face Off, me and Courtney will discuss who was the most impressive in the spring game.
We'll also take an inside look at the men's and women's gymnastics programs as they prepare to head to the national championships.
But first, we always like to start off our show with something called Launchpad, where we show the biggest highlights of the week. And I think that now, since it's officially springtime, we can officially talk about football again.
Yeah.
That's right.
Annual scrimmage over the weekend as a crowd of over 42,000 watched the red team defeat the white team. Sooner fans got to see returning Heisman candidate Baker Field complete 13 of his 18 passes while also not getting hit by defenders. All the quarterbacks were off limits as far as hitting was concerned, but they also showed off their arms and their legs. True freshman Austin Kendall reached the end zone on a quarterback keeper for the game's first score. And the final TD came on a hookup from the transfer Kyler Murray to Micaiah Quick that covered 52 yards and were the winning points to a 17-16 victory for the red team. And something that came as a surprise was the offense. So, Blakely, give us a rundown on the Sooners' offense this year.
Yeah, Annie, like you said, Baker Mayfield had a good game. He had limited playing time, but he did 13 of 18 passes for 142 yards. That was the most of all quarterbacks. And Texas A&M transfer Kyler Murray did some great things as well. Like you said, Annie, he had the 52-yard pass to Micaiah Quick to seal the red team's victory. Now, Micaiah Quick had 4 catches for 66 yards, and Dede Westbrook led the receivers with 4 catches for 76 yards. In the absence of Samaje Perine, running back Daniel Brooks had a nice game with 6 carries for 53 yards. Overall, I think Sooner fans should be really excited for another high-powered offense from this team.
I'm excited to see that kind of depth on the offensive side of the ball. It's a good thing for the Sooners. Well, on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of the focus was on the cornerback position due to the departure of Zach Sanchez. People want to know who's going to fill his shoes. Senior Dakota Austin and sophomore PJ Mbanassor are competing for the job opposite of returning starter Jordan Thomas, who had 3 tackles on the day. The overall Coach Mike Stoops said there was a lot of improvement in the spring game from things he saw a year ago in the spring game. He said Mbanassor is covering better, starting to move his feet better, and that's promising, but Dakota Austin still has a starting position for now. I'm really excited to see the defensive side of the ball compete during summer training and see who's going to take that top spot.
Me too.
Heading into the fall.
Did good when he filled in for Zach. So
thanks, guys. Well, now we usually take this time to talk about this week's MVP, but I think we can all agree Buddy Hield winning the Wooden Award automatically makes him this week's MVP. Courtney, tell us a little bit about the awards he's won.
Well, obviously, Buddy has had a legendary career here at OU, and now he has a list of awards to accompany that legendary career. The most prestigious, of course, being the John R. Wooden Award given to the top men's basketball player in the nation. Buddy joins Blake Griffin as the only Sooner in school history to have that award, so there's now 2 of them in the record books. He was also presented with the Jerry West Award as the country's top shooting guard. These trophies will join his collection alongside the Oscar Robertson Trophy and Naismith Trophy, which is given to the most outstanding men's basketball player in the nation. You combine this hardware with his already 2-time Big 12 Player of the Year awards and 2-time Big 12 First Team All-American honors, and honestly, it's really hard to go out more on top of your game than Buddy Hield is right now.
Yes,
I mean, I can't say anything but positive things.
All right,
about
I'm going
his
to tell y'all some stats to back up why Buddy was named Player of the Year. For his senior season, he averaged 25 points per game. He was shooting 55% from the field and an astounding 46% from behind the arc. Not to mention an 88% from the free throw line. He also averaged 5.5 rebounds and 2 assists per game. In the NCAA tournament, the first 3 rounds, he averaged 29.3 points, and the only player to ever average more than that was Steph Curry himself. Now, in the Final Four, Buddy broke the record for the most points scored in Big 12 history. He had 46 points in a thrilling triple overtime game against the Kansas Jayhawks, and he scored 8 threes in the Elite 8 game against Oregon. So Buddy Hield deserves every award he got this year.
Hey, you can't complain with being compared to Steph Curry.
No, you can't.
Very impressive. Well, moving on to baseball and softball, both teams picked up some victories this weekend. Guys, what can you tell us?
That's right. Well, hats off to the softball team for sweeping the Baylor Bears in Waco this weekend. The Sooners outscored the Bears 16-4 overall. Nicole Penley had another outstanding weekend with a season-high 4 RBIs and a 3-run homer in the final game of this series. Now, senior Katie Self hit a grand slam in Saturday's game to clinch the series win in just 2 games. And with the series sweep, the Sooners are back on top and in the first place with the Big 12.
Well, baseball unfortunately did not sweep Baylor, but they did take the series 2-1. You know, it all started on Friday night. It was a really close call. They won in walk-off fashion. Sheldon Noisy scoring the winning run. Saturday, we're not really going to talk about that. They lost 6-1. Moving on. So then we went in. What was really the action for the baseball team was their 11th inning rally on Sunday, giving it the boost they needed to defeat Baylor in this series. With 2 outs already on the board, they managed to hit 2 singles back-to-back, setting up junior Jack Flansburgh for his game-winning hit. And they managed to take a walk-off win twice over the weekend, making the series complete. And they'll be back in action on Tuesday against Wichita State and Kansas.
All right. Awesome. Well, in this week's edition of Clark's Corner, Clark caught up with junior tennis player Andrew Harris to talk about his first time playing singles this season after being sidelined from a knee injury.
I felt amazing. I mean, it was a long time coming. I was hoping to be ready earlier on in the season, but it just wasn't to be. But I always had the goal of being right for the Big 12, and so I just made it there in the end. But then the first match was against TCU, who were 2 in the country, and that was the biggest match of the Big 12. And unfortunately, we lost 4-3, and we had plenty of chances. But like just being out there and playing with all the guys on the team and competing, it just felt amazing.
You're talking about your goal was to get back for Big 12s. It's kind of like a whole new season starting. You guys maybe didn't get out to the start you wanted to in non-conference, but now that Big 12 starting, it's a whole new season.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's definitely a new season. I mean, John always told us, even when we lost these non-conference matches, it's not a huge deal. Like, as long as we're getting better, and hopefully we can just peak at the right time towards the end of the year, and we'll see what happens.
So far, you guys have already had 16 matches against top 25 teams. How does something like that prepare you guys when you get ready for postseason coming up?
Yeah, obviously it's just great competition. You're always playing good teams, so you always got to be focused when you play, and you got to play your best tennis. Try and play your best tennis every time you step out on court. So by the end of the postseason, or by the end of the NCAAs, you obviously got to be peaking and playing your best tennis. So against playing all these teams and having to play well, it's good preparation.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Annie, back to you.
Thanks, Clark. Well, don't go anywhere, because coming up next is Face Off. Courtney and Blakely will tell us who had the best spring game debut. We're back right after this.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go, Annie.
Spring game had some rookies who stepped it up. Who was the most impressive in the game?
Well, Sooner fans need to be excited for Austin Kendall. Now, I know I talked about the other quarterbacks earlier, but Kendall really proved himself as a quality QB to Baker Mayfield in this spring game. He went 8 for 17 passes for 52 yards total, and he also scored a rushing TD off a QB keep. Now, he didn't get a whole lot of playing time, but the Sooner fans will be able to see if Baker goes down. Knock on wood that he won't, people. But if he does, Kendall can step in and be a quality QB for this team. And also, Baker is a senior, so we've got to have looking to a future in Kendall.
Depth is always good.
Yes.
Well, a click-clack. What's that? I think I hear Curtis Bolton coming, and he is charging in full force. The redshirt sophomore brought the linebacker realness on Saturday, tying for the top spot with 7 tackles. Obviously, Sooner fans are a little bit worried about this position with Eric Stryker graduating and 2 other contributors from the lineup last season being gone as well, so people are wondering what's going to happen. Obviously, I do think Jordan Evans will be a leader in this position for the Sooners on the field, but it's leaving a lot of opportunity for those younger athletes to make a name for themselves at this position. Linebackers coach Tim Kish says his crew this year is very competitive. They're always competing against against one another in practice. He really likes the driven spirit they have. So I'm looking forward to see who takes charge of this opportunity and makes something of it. And I think Curtis Bolton is doing it all the right way right now.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm here with freshman Carly Knight. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. Well, the baseball and softball teams have, as we mentioned earlier, had an extremely successful weekend.
Who was the star performer?
Well, I didn't really hear what you said, but I think I know what you asked. Okay, Hunter Haley knocked it out of the park against Baylor, literally, with a thrilling 3-game series against the Bears this weekend. Haley was a shining star for the Sooners. In the final game of the series, he had 2 home runs and totaled 4 RBIs, and that's not all. In the first game that they won, he hit a 2-run homer, so that's 3 total home runs for the weekend. He also had 2 RBIs in that game. That's 6 total RBIs for Haley. A very impressive performance, and the Sooners could not have gotten that series done without him.
No, I do agree. But for softball, Paige Parker is the Crimson and Cream's winning machine.
She's unstoppable.
She is unstoppable,
She's unstoppable.
and she has been even as a freshman. Now she's in her sophomore year. She helped the team take on their 3-win sweep against Baylor over the weekend. She earned her 5th straight victory over the Lady Bears. She is now 17-3 on the season overall. She came into the last game of the series with a 28-inning scoreless streak. That's extremely impressive. She ended up adding on 2 more innings. Unfortunately, Baylor did score, so it broke the streak, but she now has a career-high 30.1 scoreless innings. That's a new personal record for her. She also struck out 4 batters in that last game to help the Sooners take the victory over the Bears. She's a leader on the field. She's fierce, she's steady, and if she's on the mound, there is way more hope for a Sooner win. I honestly believe that.
Now let's have some fun and see what caught our analysts' attention this week. Guys, what do you have for this week's viral video?
All right, well, I don't know if you have any Patriot fans or Rob Gronkowski fans in our audience tonight. I know we have some in the crew, but this is pretty funny, so y'all take a listen to this.
A little tired, but Gronk reporting.
Gronk, stop partying. Give me 5.
Sorry, Tim.
Okay, so classic Rob Gronkowski with his shenanigans as usual.
Yeah,
what
he's
you
a
got,
character.
Courtney? Yes.
Well, in honor of Kobe Bryant and the Lakers playing in the Thunderdome tonight, I thought I would take advantage of this hilarious commercial with Kobe Bryant and Michael B. Jordan, whose character is being cast to play Kobe Bryant in a movie. And Kobe kind of makes light of his decline situation, and it's really interesting to me to see his sense of humor. So take a look at this.
Here he is over Jackson.
See that?
How good is this kid?
That's the guy you're playing in this movie. Cold-blooded assassin.
Locked in a battle with Father Time.
Zach, no, what?
Like a hero, on the verge of a steep decline. It's perfect.
There's no decline. It's all essential. Get out of my trailer.
What?
Get out.
Okay, you got it.
That's not your plum.
That was just really cleverly funny to me, especially
I like
to
it.
incorporate Michael B. Jordan in it. So I like the humor.
All right, guys, it's time for the hard part, but it's time to vote for your favorite person. So cheer the loudest for who you thought won. Was it Blakely? Okay.
Come on, people.
Okay. Or was it Courtney? You take the victory on this one. Congratulations. Well, don't go anywhere because coming up next, we'll speak with Jeffrey Mead live in studio. And we'll also have a story on the women's gymnastics team hitting the national championship floor with more motivation than ever.
Special thanks to our cornerstone television partners, Chesapeake Energy, Riverwind Resort, Anheuser-Busch, OU Outreach, and OU Medicine.
Sooner Sports Pad, the Oklahoma gymnastics team is top-notch, with both the men and women's gymnastics team holding the top spot. This weekend, the men will be competing for their 2nd straight national title, but as Stephen Kabler shows us, the women will be seeking redemption after a disappointing loss last year.
What does it mean to have both your programs be #1 in the country?
It's pretty cool. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't tell. I don't know any other program that could do that. So I mean.
this isn't the success of Oklahoma football. These championships belong to the men's and women's gymnastics teams. The dominance of these teams isn't going anywhere. For the past 3 years, both men's and women's have been atop the national rankings.
We're just like a brotherhood, so it feels good to know that they got my back, and we went through all that hard work together. So I'm accountable for them; they're accountable for me. It feels great. It feels like a championship team.
Men's gym coach Mark Williams and his team captured last year's national title and look to go back-to-back, bringing the school's total to 10 championships.
To be honest, I'm just honored. There's a bunch of Olympians, a bunch of big names that come to this school and won, so I just feel honored.
And as the men continue their season-long dominance and look to add another national championship to the school's record, on the other side of the gym, the women are hard at work after a disappointing performance in last year's nationals to chalk up another national title.
I think this year is a little bit different just because last year we came up a little bit short. We had a great year last year and we ended up getting third at nationals. So a lot of people are returning from the team last year, and so they had so much more motivation just going into this year, and we really want to come out on top.
But going into this year, it's a completely new team. It's a completely new atmosphere in the gym, and we're just so excited for this nationals.
Last year's team was the odds-on favorite to take home first place, capping off an undefeated season. But fate would have other plans. The team didn't perform their best and ended up in third place.
Last year, of course, the first few events didn't start out how we had planned. So we were really proud of ourselves for climbing back and getting all that we could, making it all the way back to third place.
But this year started different. The Sooners lost their first meet to LSU. The Sooners used that loss as motivation for doing everything they can to win every other meet.
We did get a kick in our pants a little bit early on in the season, so getting that out there and just focusing on doing our best, focusing on the training that we've put in this entire season, this entire preseason, has really been our focus.
Everyone's super excited and we want to go out on top, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to make that happen.
Both the men and women's teams look to finish their season strong as the #1 team in the country, hoisting that national championship trophy once again.
It'll be amazing, not a lot of schools could do back-to-back, and just knowing that I'm part of that is awesome.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be even more sweet. So we are just so excited to go out there and just knock it out of the park.
Stephen Kabler, Sooner Sports Pad.
Thanks, Steven. Now let's send it over to Jeffrey Mee to talk some football. Guys, over to you.
All right, well, first off, thank you for joining us, Jeffrey.
Thank you, guys.
Now, my first question for you is, how did it feel getting back onto the field in the spring game, playing in front of an OU crowd after a long
I mean, we practice all the time, so it kind of gets monotonous, and then you kind of get a new life and new energy in front of a crowd. You bounce around a little bit more, it gets more fun, so we were excited to do it.
Good, I'm glad.
And a lot of people are concerned about the seniors that graduated and being able to replace them on the field. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a normal process that happens all the time, so I feel like we've got some guys that are ready to step up, and I feel like we have guys that are going to make some plays. They're going to surprise a lot of people.
All right, now what's kind of the hype around the new stadium for you guys? Is that going to be exciting to play at?
I mean, of course, we think it's going to be louder. It's going to be bowled in. We're really excited. Any kid our age likes having, new technology, new innovations, stuff like that, so we're really excited for it, and the weight room's going to be great.
Okay, awesome. Well, Annie has an audience question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with senior Christina DiVincenzo, and she has a question for Jeffrey.
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering, when it came to recruiting, was there another school that came to be a close second?
Yeah.
They always get uncomfortable.
Yeah. Texas A&M, LSU. Yeah.
SEC schools.
What? And Clemson. Clemson was the first. A&M, LSU, and Cal Berkeley.
Well, you're happier sooner.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good.
I am.
You made the right choice.
I think I did.
Well, don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we're playing Dynamic Duo, so stay with us. Dynamic Duos. We have Eric DeLay here. We will be trying to guess for what Jeffrey would be saying. So, first question, what is your favorite part about OU football? The student section, band, Roughnecks, or tradition?
He's got his answer.
Okay.
So. I'd probably have to say the student section.
Let's see it. It's okay. It's okay. We move on. Here we go. What was your favorite game from last year? Tennessee, Baylor, TCU, or OSU?
Those are all good games, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
I'm going to guess Baylor. guesses.
They were all good games. Blakely's right. Okay, what is your pregame ritual? Listen to music, pray, eat a specific snack, or just nothing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say listen to music.
It's okay. We still have one more chance. So here we go.
Oh,
What's your favorite Netflix series? House of Cards, Narcos, Walking Dead, or Breaking Bad?
Oh, so the camera?
Wait, don't show it yet.
Well,
I'm sorry. You've got to pick your answer. I'm sorry. I went too soon. I got too excited.
Breaking Bad.
That is the show. No worries. I wouldn't have gotten any of those either. So,
That's okay.
but that
Those are
is
hard
all the
questions.
time we had. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and like us at Twitter at Sooner Sports Pad. On behalf of the entire Sports Pad crew, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here next time.